Hello, and welcome back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I am your host and GM, Zach, and as always, joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azarketti Bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a Kobold Rogue.
Ryan, I am Ryu, a Tiefling Magus.
Taryn and I play Waltz, a human champion.
I really like the low energy, sleepy intro. Adam, you set the tone. You know that, man. You can't do that. They all follow you.
That's why I did it,
That's why you did it? Cool. Hey.
Shouldn't have given me this power, man.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have trusted you with that. Well, hey, you guys might want to pep up because a lot of crazy stuff happened in the last episode, if you recall, such as Waltz free falling through midair. But, you know, that's towards the end of the episode. So the episode started with you guys entering into Forgast's lair. So Dax and Jules snuck in through the front, and their goal was to attempt to lure Forgast underneath an opening in the cavern, and then Waltz was going to push heavy boulders on top of Forgast, and hopefully it would break and kill him, or who knows what. But, I mean, it was a good way to get the jump on Forgast. And guess whose plan it was? It was Geldir's. The Drake Knight Geldir. The one that you guys haven't really trusted too much lately, but he lately showed you his softer side, revealed that his motivations are to see his daughter, Elle, and just get back to his family and one day escape the Drake Knights. So you had a newer sense of trust in him, so you went with his plan. And it was going well. Dax and Jules were sneaking around, doing a good job, trying to get a feel for the lair, and they spotted some wagon tracks in the lair, but they weren't able to investigate them too well because Forgast kept waking up, snoring, shifting around upon his pile of trinkets. So Dax, realizing his time was limited, decided to improvise and picked up a rock and started throwing it around in the cavern to try to track Forgast. It eventually woke him up and he started wandering over. And Waltz seized that opportunity with Geldir bracing him, and they shoved the boulder off through the opening, and it landed on top of Forgast and erupted, dealt a good deal of damage, but I think we'd all agree you guys wish it did substantially more.
Barely
than
any damage. It was the most hollow boulder they could find.
Barely an
Well,
inconvenience.
Yeah. Forgast seemed
It's a
fine.
sponge.
So you definitely got his attention and upset him. And so he looked upwards towards this opening and decided to make his way up there. So Waltz was like, hey, I should probably get on Smith, our hippogriff. And he turned around, and guess who was standing there? Geldir. And he said, sorry, mate, and shoved Waltz through the opening into Forgast's lair into a free fall. And if you remember,
Insane.
he also insisted that you tie up Smith so that he
Yeah, that's
doesn't
why I
try
had
and run away.
knife.
Yeah, I don't know if you
And I
remember
took the
that.
ready
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, you were trying to turn around and cut him, and then, but he pushed you off.
You bamboozled me.
Your guys'
Gotcha.
plan isn't going too well, but whatever Geldir's plan is seems to be going just fine.
Shocker,
So,
the
as
DM's
you
plan
were-
is going well.
Yeah,
Weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad.
The guy
Geldir's-
controlled by God.
I have infinite amount of time to scheme outside of games. I know I'm playing 4D chess over here. I'm dropping sap stories right before I have them betray you. It's like, man,
And
Geldir
cheating.
starts
Don't
with
forget
a G.
cheating.
You know what else starts with a G?
cheating.
Jerk.
Yeah. And more accurately, GM. So, yeah.
And
GM
Jiff.
jerk. Anyways,
And gall, Zach.
so
What the heck, man?
Waltz was free falling. And for all you rules lawyers out there, I know you fall 1,500 feet per round, but Waltz hit Forgast and bumped off of his jaws as he raised his shield, which disrupted his fall, kind of reset things a bit. He took a good deal of damage, but he's hanging on. I have no idea how much health you have, Waltz, but it can't be much.
Let's
And
see.
he is continuing to free fall. And we ended our session with Waltz starting his turn and desperately calling out to the Hippogriff Smith that was tied up to a boulder. And yeah. How's everybody feeling before we start? Just quick lay of the land. How's everybody
I am
doing?
thrilled to see what happens. As an official listener now, I've been
Yeah.
waiting for this.
You've been relegated to the audience.
I
Just
got
so
my
you know-
popcorn. I got my soda.
Just so the listeners know, we usually record 2 episodes at a time. So, like, in that session of playing, Ryan did get to play. But from an episode perspective, he did not get to play in the last episode because I didn't want to pause in the middle of all that and jump over to him. But I do like to invite Ryan and have him watch us play. It's fun. I get
Yeah,
satisfaction.
I just like being invited.
I just wanted to double check. How much damage did Forgast take when I hit him?
Is that real?
Like a pretty good amount.
When did you hit him?
When I was dropping on my shield and I hit him.
I don't remember, but I'm looking at how much health he has, and I know how much he started with, and it couldn't have been much. That's all
No,
I
I just don't think I rolled damage for it. I think we forgot.
No, I think you did. Nice try, though. Good to sneak that in. Nice try. I respect that. Yep.
I think
Right.
however much damage Forgast did, Waltz should be done unto him. That's just
Yeah.
physics, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, maybe.
What goes in motion stops in motion.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
what
something's about
That's
that.
what
I think
Da
that's
Vinci
the
said.
rule.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our, I would say, cliffhanger, but you surpassed the cliff, and yeah.
No.
So that's where we'll start our session, but not quite, because we're gonna go check in with Ryu. Leave you guys hanging.
So
a
we're
little
not
bit
starting
longer.
there.
Yeah, we're not starting there.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna pick things up with Ryu.
Yet another
who, if you
lie.
recall, was riding in a wagon led by a Drake Knight hobgoblin named Bolgru and some other goons. One of which Ryu killed by gale blasting him out of the wagon, and then his head got ran over by a wagon wheel. So although he's tied up, he's still terrifying Drake Knights, as he's prone to do. And Bolgru, kind of through your conversations, revealed that yes, he was part of the Fangdom, but he left, and not everyone on Desolus supports the Fangdom, and the Fangdom is ruthless and hunts anyone that defects across Keldora. No matter what planet they go to, they have an elite squad known as the Kaningo that fans out and finds them, kills them, brings them back alive if they can, whatever. So that's part of the reason Bolgru joined the Drake Knights, because Sindor is offering him protection. And that's why you've seen a few goblins and hobgoblins and orcs and things like that amidst the Drake Knights, because obviously he would attract them because they don't have a lot going for them when they're refugees and fleeing and just looking for somewhere to fit in. So I don't know, I'm not speaking for you, but you're kind of for the first time getting a different perspective on the Fangdom because you've only ever known them as an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys have been riding in your wagon for a while, and everyone's kind of fanned out away from you ever since you killed that one goblin. And you feel like you've got to be getting close to where you're going, and you hear Bolgru's voice kind of turn over his shoulder from the front of the wagon and look back at you. By the way, you don't look like any Erikai I've ever seen before. You got the horns, sure, and the robes, but your hair, I've only ever known it to be white.
Again with the hair. All Erikai look the same. White hair, red eyes, horns.
There's a long silence as you can tell he's kind of leaning closer to get a better look at you. You hear the sound of him grabbing a torch and kind of holding it up as you feel the warmth.
Ugh, your breath stinks.
Sorry to break it to you, mate. You don't got white hair. It's black.
What the others were saying was true.
All I know is if Sindor says you're an Erikai, you're a bloody Erikai. And he passes the torch back to someone else and turns back around.
Was an Erikai. It would be dishonorable for me to consider myself one now, after being banished.
Banished?
To spare you the details, I failed my awakening, and our clan requires that one be banished after doing so.
Awakening? That's that, ritual where you gain your powers or whatever, right?
You know more about us than I thought.
We're taught that fighting an awakened Erikai is far different. So yeah, we're aware of some of your customs and training. I guess I shouldn't say we either. No longer part of the Fangdom.
Why did you run?
He lets out a sigh, and you can tell he's kind of thinking. And he says, kill enough innocent people, you'd want to quit too.
I sit for a moment puzzled. I was under the impression all goblinoids were heartless, people-killing machines. You regret your time with the Fangdom, is that it?
I don't know if regret's the right word. I never really had a choice. I regret that my people are bored into this life. That's what I regret.
I'm working for Sindor now. That's better than the Fangdom.
Absolutely. Have you not heard of what's going on in Mandaru?
Mandaru. Waltz's home? What's going on?
Waltz, that's the human one, right? Digsby's crew?
From what I've heard.
Well, Mandaru, it's on waterfall. It's got more nodes than any one place in all Caldora. It's very active. A lot of the liberated nodes on Desolis align with Mandaru. Makes it a great place for refugees to escape. There's a big goblinoid presence there, but as of late, kingdoms of man have been trying to overtake it. It's not really a fair fight. Refugees, after all, just living amidst the jungles. Sindor, though, he's leveled the playing field with our drakes. Sindor's the only one keeping Mandaru free, as far as I'm concerned. Without him, there'd be no way to escape Desolis.
So, you fight for Sindor, for your own freedom. But do you know what you fight for, being under Sindor?
Like I said, I know fighting for Sindor means that I get to keep my brothers safe and give them a way to escape the tyranny of the Fangdom. I'm finally doing some good.
I understand killing others to protect your own, but that doesn't mean that I won't take my vengeance on you for what you've done to the Arakai.
Sorry to break it to you, mate. I've never killed a bloody Arakai.
I do an anime gasp. What were your duties with the Fangdom?
It's a little embarrassing, but I guess it was to try and kill Arakai. You guys are pretty good.
Captain of the region, never killed anyone. The Drake Knights continue to be a joke.
Never said I haven't killed anyone.
Oh,
Hopefully you don't take this the wrong way. I know the Fangdom may be your only enemy, but the Arakai aren't the Fangdom's.
like you could kill an Arakai anyway. What other enemies does the Fangdom have?
There's rebels all over Desolis, mate. And I'd be careful with those threats. I may have been taking it easy on you, but you're still tied up.
For now, yes.
And as you say that, you can hear the sound of the wagon exiting the tunnel, and you can hear open air around you. You feel the chilling breeze of Pagos once again.
Are we in the snow again?
That's right, you're probably not too used to that.
Hate the snow.
And the wagon descends down a decline.
Here we go.
And
I put my hands up in the air. Roller coaster.
And then you hear the sounds of a bustling town. And although you can't see, just for cinematic purposes for our audience, you would see ships docked along this river. On the side that they are on, it is snowy Pagos, and across the river you can see desert terrain. And there is a mirrored version of a similar looking city on the other side. Drake Knights bustling around, loading, unloading ships, passing Ryu's wagon. You would see Drake Knights carrying crates of Drake eggs and loading them onto wagons. And you would see Drake Knights training, conversing with one another, drinking ale, all sorts of things. You can tell this is a trade hub for the Drake Knights. And Bolgru looks over his shoulder. He says, "Welcome to Kurapan." And then the wagon continues through the town, and then you hear it skid to a stop, and Bolgru hops out of the wagon, and he says, "Load him onto the ship." And a bunch of Drake Knights come up to you and grab you, still bound, and start taking you out of the wagon and dragging you towards a ship.
Get off. Get off.
And with that, we will cut back.
Well, it's been fun, fellas.
Yeah, see you later, Ryan. You can just
Thanks for
leave,
coming
man.
in, buddy.
You can start working on the music if you want.
It's good to see you.
So, Waltz, you spent one action calling out to Smith. As you're free falling through the air, you just collided with Forgast, rolled off of him, took a great deal of damage. You don't know how you're going to survive this, so you desperately yell out to Smith, who you know is tied to a boulder. Can you roll me a command an animal check? And also, I feel this is a good time to remind you all that you have a hero point, so use that how you may.
Okay, so I would like to use my hero point.
Oh no.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't very good. It was a 6.
Okay. Use your hero point, my man.
Can I get multiple hero points?
You
No.
can, but
Can I
you do
give
not
him-
have multiple.
What
Can I give him my
what if I
hero
roll
point?
2 6s in a row? Does it?
Then you're.
Is
Then
that
that's
what
just
happened?
What happens, man. That's what happens.
Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let me roll again. If I roll a third 6 in a row, I'm gonna say this is bugged. No, that one's a 10. So either way, it's all bad. Okay.
A hero point is just
So-
a reroll, not advantage, right?
I mean,
I think
kind
it's
of-
just a
thing.
reroll. Well, no, advantage
the
you would
same
take
thing.
the
So you
best
have to
even if the
stick with
second
the
one was
second
lower.
one.
I think hero points you have to
yeah.
take the second one. I don't know
Oh,
that.
that's
I'm-
true.
That was a question.
I think that is right, actually.
So yeah, I rolled a 6 even with the hero point. I rolled 2 6s in a row.
Good
so I don't know.
Okay,
maybe
that's fine.
maybe I just roll a couple more times, see if I can't get in something higher.
Taryn, you want to roll higher. I don't know
Taryn,
if you knew that about
How about
this
this?
game, but you
Try it.
want
When you're dead, you can roll as much as you want.
Okay. Thanks.
Did you roll a d6 by chance?
Oh, I did. Yeah, that's what it was. Can I try a
there we
D8
go.
this time?
No. All right, so Waltz, you yell out Smith, who you know is tied to a boulder, desperately yelling. The wind is rushing around you. You hear your voice bouncing off the cavern walls. What do you do with the other 2 actions?
I'm just gonna reach out and try and grab the Drake.
Ooh, good call. Okay, yeah. So there is a grab and edge reaction. And rule of cool, we're going to say it as you hit the Drake and you're falling past him after you rolled off. His tail is gliding past you in this moment. And you can attempt to reach out and grab one of the scales protruding from his tail. And hold on for dear life, I suppose. So roll me an athletics check.
Hot dice.
Good thing you already used your hero points. And this is a reaction, so you only get one shot at it.
26.
Are you
Ooh,
Oh,
big numbers.
oh,
we like
wow.
to see those.
18 plus 8.
Okay. This does not mean that you're safe by any means, but I'm so
I
glad
won.
that you're not. Okay.
I win. I killed the Drake. I did it.
Its weak spot was that scale.
Yeah.
And then once I grab the tail, I want to swing him down towards the ground, Zach.
Pile driver.
Yeah, suplex.
Suplex.
And I want to kill him with that blow, too.
Hold on one second.
Roll for kill.
All right, I got you, Ryan. Like Ryan is GM better.
Yeah, anything above that one passes.
All right, Waltz, you desperately reach out for this tail that's slithering past you. Your hands clink off a couple scales and then grip tightly to the last scale on Forgast's tail, which is a rhyme.
Ooh.
It sounds awesome.
The last scale
And it
on Forgast
rips
tail.
Title of
you
the episode.
back into the air as you change directions rapidly.
Your poor shoulder sockets.
I'm just gonna, for fun, can you roll me a reflex save to see if you hold on to your shield in this moment?
I thought you were going to say, like, I'm just going to roll for fun to see if Waltz just dies or something.
That would be fun for me.
22, baby.
Oh man.
Oh, wow. So,
Clutch dice.
as you're
man.
soaring through the air, the shield starts to slide off your forearm, and then you grab it with your fingertips as Forgast whips you through the air up to the opening of the lair.
Perfect.
You technically still have 2 actions.
Yeah, so
Is him grabbing not an
It's a
action?
reaction.
it's a reaction, yeah. So I just want to know for clarification. So my shield is broken. It's got 1 HP, so I can't use it at least to block. Can I use it for anything else? Like, it is still like a solid object? Or are you saying if I were to try and take any action with it, regardless of what it is, because it's broken, it will not work?
I think you could still beat it like an improvised weapon or something.
So I will stow my shield and try and grab it with my other hand to get a better hold, or climb, if I can, to a safer position where I can actually maybe mount the tail.
All right, so if you want to try and cement your position, you are opening yourself up to a risk of losing your current position if you like critically fail this climb.
No, I don't.
You're wrong.
And I don't know if there's rules for this, and frankly, I don't care. I like improvising stuff like this. So if you want to try and get a better hold, if you botch that attempt, you're going to lose the current hold. I'll let you maintain your current hold if you like
Even
regular
if I just
fail.
like grab like with my second hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go outside and try and grab onto a flying drake's tail and tell me how easy it is, you can. But I'm pretty sure it's a little difficult. So.
No, I guess you're right. And I guess the way I see it is because I'm fully
Like
extended
yesterday when I
with
was
one
trying to
arm.
climb onto a drake, it was like not working very well.
Well, if I'm fully extended with one arm, I would have to swing up to get up to the same level with my other. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my gosh, you finally saved it, now you're gonna die. Okay, all right. No, do it. I like you already committed.
As
All
long
right.
as you don't
Yep,
crit
all right,
fail,
what am I
you're
rolling?
fine. It's more interesting.
All right. Roll me an athletics check.
Keep the high numbers coming, Terrorbear.
16?
Zach, come on, Zach.
That is a regular fail because this is hard to do. So you stow your shield and then go to swing up your arm to grab onto another scale and then slip, and now you're dangling, just holding on by one arm with no weapon out, flying through the air.
Okay.
But you're
I
not
think that's-
dead at the moment. So
I think
I'd
that's
say
all
that's a
my,
successful turn. That is all your
yeah.
actions. Holy cow.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know how long that'll be episode time, but geez. All right. And that takes us to Jules. So Jules, you saw Waltz falling through a beam of moonlight into the cavern, hits the drake, rolls off, grabs onto his tail, now soaring through the air. What do you do?
How far away is the Drake / Waltz from where I'm at right now? Not considering height, but just like
50 feet.
50 feet? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to...
Do it, Adam.
I'm just going to run down the tunnel.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Good luck, Waltz! I'm going to run up from cover 20 feet, which is my movement speed. I really want to shoot it, but I don't know if now's the time. So I'm going to run out from cover 20 feet, which is my movement speed. And then just watching Waltz do his thing, kind of shake my head. Good Lord. And then raise my hand in a gun shape and shoot a couple magic missiles at it, because I can't do much else. Waltz.
Sounds good.
What a pickle you've gotten us in.
I'm sorry. Zach cheated and Geldir was a jerk.
Geldir was a gurk.
G-E-R-K jerk.
This is the second
Okay.
time you've casted Magic Missile on the Drake, right?
Yeah, and it does a lot of damage.
7,000.
Oh, let's go. That is 7.
Not bad. So, Waltz, from your perspective, as you're looking up Forgast's back, you see familiar aqua darts pelting him in the back, bouncing off his shimmering scales, but you don't seem to get the impression that it did a lot of damage. So, Jules, you're standing there with your smoking finger of sorts, hoping that this would disrupt Forgast, maybe get his attention, bring him back towards you into the lair.
Yeah.
And it just sort of splashed off of his back, but it was a solid hit. And that'll take us to Dax.
I was really hoping I would come up with something by the time it got to my turn, and including the 2 weeks I've had to prepare for this. But like, my options are so limited.
Slim. Yeah.
Realistically, Dax is so shocked by it, like caught off guard, right? Because as far as we knew, Geldir was trustworthy, or maybe not trustworthy, but we did put our trust in him for this anyway. So this is the last thing.
Technically, you
Dax-
might not even know that he pushed him.
Right. That's a very good point. I don't know that. So I think Dax, he sees Waltz plummeting down, hit the Drake, grab on, and is just taking a second to take it all in. And then, without thinking of the potential consequences, he's going to use 2 move actions, 2 stride actions to get to about where Waltz is going to fall. And just be, he's not trying to catch him because obviously he's not dumb, but he's going to be, my movement speed's 25 feet, so I can get basically to where Waltz is going to fall. I guess start looking around for anything helpful, which I know is too ambiguous to like give me any information, but he's just frantically looking around at the pile of junk underneath him to see if there's anything unusual, anything that isn't like goblets and swords.
All right. So do you want to roll a perception check to like look into the pile?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a 24.
Nice.
All right. So you're standing underneath the opening, and the pile of trinkets or whatever is a ways off from that, if you recall, because you're trying to kite Forgast from there to the
good
opening.
point. Yep.
And you're kind of panning up and down it. Nothing's necessarily jumping out at you, but you do see a net laying in the pile of trinkets.
Hey, Jules, there's a net.
Who's Annette?
Jeez.
Not now.
Oh, man. And then he does the,
Does she
the
want to see
pectoral
my
dance.
tattoos?
But
Just shimmies.
This is so cheeky. And that'll take us to Forgast,
What's he up to?
continues to soar upwards and crests the opening in the cave and is now out in the open. So Jules and Dax, you lose sight of him. Waltz, you're now back out in the open air, the night sky. It's too disorienting to get a good look at what's going on. And Forgast whips around and then starts to dive back into the cavern, but he's not going to quite make it on this turn. And that'll take us to Waltz.
Okay, I want to try again to cement a better hold to start climbing onto Forgast.
Well, you're going to have to do that anyway, because he just whipped around and changed direction. So if you want to stay riding him, you're going to have to try and climb back on.
Okay, athletics,
Yep.
You got this.
26 again.
Whoa.
All right. You swing your other arm back up and grab onto the same scale with two arms as you're soaring back down into the cavern.
Can I climb more towards his midsection and use my movement speed?
No, but you can climb. You can literally climb. So you just roll an athletics check because I've determined this to be difficult. And based on your level of success, you can climb a certain distance.
A lot of athletics checks. 25, 17 plus 8, dude.
All right. Again, because this is very difficult, that is a regular success.
Fair.
So you are able to move up across or safely down the incline for 5 feet per 20 feet of your land speed. So what's your land speed?
30 because I have the general feat fleet.
So 5 feet. So yeah, you start to climb up his tail and get to the base of his tail. You want to try and climb again?
Yeah, let's do it. 24 now.
All right, same thing. You climb another 5 feet and you're roughly in the center of his back.
Okay, so is that all 3 of my actions or do I have one more?
That is all 3 of your actions. Now that your turn's done. I kind of viewed that as your one chance to jump off and land on the top of the cave again, but now you're still holding on to him and entering the cave again right in his back.
We sure
I
are.
dig it, dude. That's hardcore. That'll take us to Jules. So, Jules, you saw Forgast leave the lair, and then you hear a roar outside, and the shadow casting back down through the moonlight indicates that he's still centered with the hole. And what do?
I'm going to back up a little bit first.
Go back to the rock you just came out of?
Yeah. That sounds a little harsh.
Just I just picture your turn being
Go back to the rock you came from.
It's just never mind, I'm gonna go back actually.
I don't think I'll go all the way back, maybe half my movement speed.
Okay.
10 feet-ish. I'm going to cast shield. So yeah, so I have +1 to my AC.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so Jules, you kite backwards back towards the rock. You wave your hand and a shimmery aquatic water-looking shield appears before you and you brace it upwards, ready for whatever is about to enter this cave once again. And that'll take us to Dax.
Whatever is about to enter this cave, as if we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
What
Who knows?
could possibly enter this
What
cave?
could it be?
Waltz
Let it
may
be
have
Ryu.
tamed Forgast by then, so maybe
God,
you'll
I hope
see.
so. Okay, so Dax is going to pick up said net, or is it not next to me? I guess I
It's not
didn't.
next to me. I'll have to go get it. Yeah.
Aw, poop. Okay, I will go get the net.
All right. So you run over 25 feet, get up to the net, pick it up.
Okay, is it further or closer to the wall where I came from?
It is-
Is it on the
you
way?
moved towards the wall because you were in the center point of the circular lair and
Okay.
went towards the wall of the trinkets.
Perfect. Okay, so I go pick up the net move 25 feet, pick up the net, 2 actions, I assume. And then I will finish moving the rest of the way to the wall.
Okay. Like to the edge of the lair?
Basically, my end goal is to climb the wall because I'm a cavern kobold, so I can climb walls at my full speed.
Nice. I didn't
So
know
that's
that.
my goal.
That's cool.
So I'm gonna go run, pick up the net, and keep running towards the wall.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, so you sprint by the pile of trinkets, scoop up the net, run towards the wall, and put your claws up on it, and that'll take us to Forgast soars back into the lair and lands loudly on the ground, thunderously shaking off the cavern walls, and lets out a loud roar and scans around and sees Jules standing there almost to the rock. Just drool dripping from his fangs, and he looks right at you. Let's see.
I flip him off, of course.
And he leaps off the ground, soars towards you, the wind just scraping towards you, blasting debris in your face, lands right in front of you, and is going to whip his tail around and attack you with his tail. And absolutely hit you.
Gosh, dang it. Dang it, Forgast. Why can't you just behave?
I was not expecting that.
Bamboozled.
Luckily, I took that reaction that I was ready for.
And the tail
Yeah.
whips around and hits you square in the stomach as you raise the shield that absorbs some of the damage, I'm assuming, and he deals 14 damage to you.
So, because the shield has a hardness of 5, I think that negates 5 damage.
Yep. But
Okay.
the shield, make sure you check to see how much health the shield has because the shield also takes 9 damage.
Yeah, because it's a spell, my shield just goes away.
Okay.
It also
sweet.
gave you a +1 to AC, so I don't know if that changes things
Oh,
at all.
no, I did not.
I'm gonna guess no, because
Oh.
Zach just went right into it and didn't even bother asking.
But don't you have 28 AC right now? So
Yeah, but he doesn't care.
So
He's cheating.
as the tail strikes you, the aquatic shield just bursts and water flies everywhere as it hits you in the stomach, absorbing some of the damage. So you take 9 damage once you apply the shield's effects. And
Ow!
and that will take us to Waltz, who is on the back of Forgast, who is attacking Jules. So what do you do, Waltz?
okay, I guess before I do anything, would Waltz know or think that there's anything I could do to damage him with my sword?
Yeah, you would certainly believe that you could stab him with a sword.
Okay,
And you're on his
that's what I'll
back,
do.
so you know you're going to get like a bonus to your attack knowing that you're on his back.
Yeah, so I'll just keep it simple then. I'm gonna take out my sword and I'm gonna try and stab it as deep into him as I can.
All right, roll an attack roll with a +2 circumstance bonus because he's flat-footed to you.
I will do that. You said a circumstance bonus
Mm-hmm.
of +2,
Yeah.
non-nat 20.
All right, you go to pull out your sword and you go to stab down into Forgast, and your sword clanks hard off of one of his scales, and you do not penetrate his
Darn.
skin. Well, what
All
do
right,
you
let's
do
go
with
home,
your
guys.
second action?
How big is his head compared to my body?
Well, if you recall in episode 8, when Joel realized we don't use the metric system, what do we say is like the size of 2 full-grown men's chests is about how big a Drake's head is.
So I will take the ready action, Zach Ernesti, and can I just text you what my ready action would be?
I kind of like that, actually.
You can definitely do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how every episode you try to dox Zach. Like, next time include his address.
Yeah. I feel like you guys are gonna dox me. I feel the animosity in this session. Everyone's not happy with what's going on.
Did you get my text, Zach Ernesti, who stays at on Bluegrass Tallgrass Lane?
That's a wild street name.
All right, Waltz, I have received your ready action. I am prepared to consider it. And with that, we will move on to Jules.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of run around it and shout, "Waltz, get off of this thing!" And then I'm going to cast Daze on it.
All right. And how does days work?
Cloud the target's mind and daze it with a mental jolt, which deals mental damage equal to my spellcasting ability modifier, which is +4. And then
That's
they
cool.
have to attempt a basic will save, and if they crit fail, it is also stunned.
All right.
That's awesome.
And what is your DC?
18.
Nice.
Dang. Okay. Regularly fails.
Nice. Finally.
I don't think that has any effect then. It's not stunned because it has to critically
But
fail.
it takes damage.
Yeah, for mental.
We are killing this Drake.
Slowly, but
He stands no chance.
All right.
And then I'll yell, "Over here, you spleeny, tickle-brained miscreant!"
Nice. He growls and shakes his head with rage as your insult cuts deep into his psyche. And that'll take us to Dax.
Okay, so scanning the wall that he's in front of, looking for any outcroppings that he could potentially stand upon, he will, I guess maybe up to you. Do you want me to take an action to do that, or is that a passive perception type deal? I guess I don't
I'd say
know if
that's passive. Yeah. You're familiar
Okay.
with climbing caverns.
Right. So for the listener, using my cavern kobold heritage, I can climb caves and rocky thingies at full speed. So I will quickly scamper up 25 feet, or I guess 50 if I don't find anything before then.
No,
Your call.
you can find something at 25 feet that you could stand on.
So Zach will, oh my God, Dax will scamper up the cavern wall,
I will scamper up the cavern wall.
find an outcropping, climb up there, and prepare an action. As soon as Waltz dismounts, he is going to throw the net on Forgast.
So yeah, Dax, you scamper up the wall, get on the outcropping, and you have this net out, and it's ready, and you're prepared to cast it outward. And you see Waltz on the back of Forgast kind of frantically stabbing with a sword, and Jules running around yelling at him. So Forgast, seeing Jules running for shelter, his scales start to glow and illuminate, and his eyes glow a piercing blue, and you see his chest start to glow as he prepares his breath weapon. And Waltz, you climb up over the scales and jump down and try and grab onto Forgast's mouth and clamp it shut with all of your strength. Can you roll me an athletics check?
So cool.
I forgot we had no idea what your ready action was.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
so
what
good.
is happening?
Zach, I don't know if you knew this about drakes, but their jaw strength is similar to alligators,
Yeah.
where they can clamp shut, but they can't open.
That wasn't in the stat log. That's surprising. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's in
Alright.
the fine print.
Athletics again, because I guess this is technically a grapple.
Yeah.
With advantage, you said?
Yeah, that's D&D, buddy.
With a hero point, you said?
Nope. But I will give you a +2 status bonus because I love the creativity and I love that Waltz has just been riding around on this Drake. So I'm going to give you a status bonus just for your sheer love of Jules, that cool Predator style handshake you guys shared. You don't want your buddy to get hit, so you get a +2 circumstance bonus or status bonus.
That'll take me to a non-nat 20.
Ooh, spicy.
All right. So Jules, your eyes grow wide. You turn around. You see Waltz
Uh-oh.
climb over, grab onto his jaws, pull his mouth closed the best he can as he's opening it. Waltz! And there's a burst that comes from Forgast's mouth that Waltz absorbs, but does not reach you.
Uh-oh.
Did he get a brain freeze?
I have my coat on, so
It's good to know. Okay, that changes
Forgast.
everything.
For blasting the inside of his own head. It's like when you try to hold in a
Forgast's
sneeze.
eyes pop out. Yeah.
Yeah, and your eyes pop out.
So Waltz, effectively what you did because I feel this is an insurmountable feat, like a very difficult thing to do to try and keep the Drake's mouth shut completely with just human strength. You manage to suppress him from opening his jaws all the way. His breath weapon releases partially, and you absorb the might of it in Jules' stead. So you're going to take half of the Drake's breath weapon damage, and it will not reach Jules. So you're going to take 10 cold damage as it erupts in a brilliant blue, misty, icy aura. Jules, you just see a flash as Waltz climbs in front and is thrown from the Drake's mouth. Are you still up?
I had 10 HP.
Oh my gosh. You see Forgast confused, shaking his head. Its glowing scales subside, and Jules over Forgast's shoulder, you see Dax up on the ledge who's going to try and cast out a net.
Get it, Dax!
No, Walt.
Dax! Remember, you have a hero point because you're a gangster, Joel.
I am.
So, Dax, I wouldn't say you're trained in throwing nets. So
Come on.
Unless, are you? Let's see what kind
There's
of
no
net
reason
is
I
it.
would be.
Yeah. So, keep in mind you have a hero point, but you are throwing this about 50 feet, and I don't think that nets have a very good range on them. So, usually when you're beyond the typical throwing range, you're going to take -2 for every increment outside of that. So we'll say a -4 status penalty to throw this net. But you do have a hero point if you want to use it.
God, if you're going to make it so hard, I wouldn't have done it. Jeez.
I mean, it does sound like a hard
16
thing
yards.
Cheating
16
again.
yards isn't too far.
All right. Sorry, I missed it. Athletics? Is that what you said?
Athletics with a -4 status penalty.
You got it, dude. All right, I will be using my hero point. Oh no! Come on. Cool, one hole better than the first roll.
Oh no.
That is a 10.
Alright.
These hero points suck.
I know. I want a refund.
Maybe I should give them out more often since they don't do anything anyway. Alright. So, Dax, you cast out the net as far as you can. It flies through the air, and Forgast whips his tail and slaps it out of the air, and it just sort of wraps around his tail, and then he slithers it out of the net, and it lands on the ground. So after Forgast slaps the net down, he can tell he's now surrounded on both sides. His breath weapon has been expended and must be recharged. He sees that he has a victory in taking down Waltz and takes to the sky, sending a powerful burst of air into the cavern and lets out a loud roar as he soars through the air. And that'll take us to Jules.
How high up has he gotten?
He went up about 30 feet and then away 20 feet, so he's about 50 feet from you.
I'm gonna lift the pistol up, aim it at Forgast. I'm gonna say, "I like my drakes. Well done." And then
Well done, Jules. Well done.
all right, here we go.
You haven't used your hero point, have you?
Ooh, I may not need to. Ooh, maybe I do. This thing has like a 42 AC. So that's a 25.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't laugh, Zach. That means he failed, right?
Yeah.
No,
you
I'm laughing
fricker.
because that is precisely his AC.
What? Sometimes the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
I rolled a 19. I'm like, I can only roll one more higher than this.
Jules, you raise your pistol, say your sick line. You pull the trigger, the flintlock snaps down, ignites a spark, erupts like a tracer round, just a red glowing bolt fires through the air with a glow that emanates through the cavern, strikes the Drake in the chest as he's airborne. It erupts in a fiery explosion. Fire ignites, overtaking his wings, wrapping around his entire body, almost like a sun has formed within this cavern. Roll me 8d10.
Oh, wow.
Oh. 8d10, huh?
Watch him get 1 on all of them.
Right.
10 damage.
What's the damage?
45.
Nice.
Mama.
Get wrecked.
With the explosion and fire overtaking Forgast, he lets out a shriek and starts to flutter in his flight back towards the ground, leaving a trail of fire and smoke resonating from him. And as he shrieks, you can tell you've just dealt devastating damage to him, though he still appears to be alive and clinging to life in some capacity, though the fire engulfs his entire body and is clearly a very potent form of damage to him. And that'll take us to Dax. So Dax, as you stand on the ledge, you see this burning Forgast flying through the air, the fire's growing around his body. You can tell Jules did his job and landed his shot, didn't squander Dunadast's gifts. What do you do?
Okay, I guess point of order for the rules lawyers. The climb of the cavern kobold was... I didn't do that right. Won't happen again. Don't worry about it. Should
Yeah, it's fine.
have rolled a check first of all, and then I should have only moved half my movement speed, not my full movement speed.
You only
Unless
use
it
2
was a-
actions anyway, so
Right, so I had the actions to do it. But anyway, having seen this explosion, Dex will quickly pull out his short bow and then fire off 2 arrows from his heightened cliffside position.
Roll it up.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 26.
Nice.
That hits, dude. He kills it.
And surely he's flat-footed, right? Ooh,
It's a condition.
There we
I
go.
don't
Max
like-
damage. 6 damage.
All right. So your first arrow sails through the air, pierces into this burning mass within the air. You hear a little whimper shriek as it penetrates his scales. Roll your second attack.
Ooh, that's only a 6 to hit.
So you fire the second shot, and Forgast does this frantic twist in the air, trying to dissipate the fire, and your arrow misses. And that'll take us to Forgast, who lands on the ground and is frantically trying to roll in snow and put this fire out. I'm going to roll a saving throw for him, which he fails. As he's rolling in the fire, you only see the fire grow and engulf his body more. He stands up,
Yeah.
frantic, looking around, and tries to let out his breath weapon, which fails to recharge once again. He bangs against the side of the cavern and then starts to roll in the snow some more. That'll take us to Waltz. Waltz, roll me a death saving throw and text me the result.
Hey, no problem. No problem.
Hmm.
Sorry, it's just a regular D20, correct? No
Yeah,
plus
flat
minus
check.
or anything.
How high up are you, Joel?
25 feet. Maybe I could Assassin's Creed dive into the treasure.
Dive into my
That's
arms.
All right. Waltz has rolled his death save. That'll take us to Jules. So you see a frantic Forgast about 25 feet away from you, and you see Waltz about 25 feet away from you in the other direction.
I'll look up to Dax and I'll say, Dax! Waltz! And I'll point at him. Then I'll run up 15 feet and cast telekinetic projectile. If there's like a sword or some like hard metal object nearby.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll it up.
That's a 23.
Okay, so you throw the telekinetic projectile, and as he's rolling around in the ground, it actually just skims off of his body and burns up in the fire and bounces off in the distance and is miss.
All right, that's my turn.
That'll take us to Dax. Dax, what do you do?
So having had Jules just point out Waltz, Daxel, crap, and then stow his bow really quick and start descending down the decline of the cavern as quick
Love
as
it.
he can,
Attaboy.
making
Okay.
his way. So athletics check, I assume. It's climbing, doesn't matter if it's up or down, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could
Mechanically.
probably climb. You could climb half of it and then just drop maybe too, but, well, I guess it's kind of the same thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, I would determine this to be easy climbing for you, so you don't have to roll a check for that.
Okay.
But you
All
just move. Is your
So I can
Cobalt
just do it.
Cavern feet half your speed?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, half my speed on a regular success, full speed on critical. So we'll call it half speed. So I'll use 2 of
Yep.
my actions to get down and then stride over to as close as I can get to Waltz because I'm sure I'm at least 25 feet
Yep.
from him. So
Yeah.
that is what I will do.
Yep, you can get about halfway to him, sprinting over.
Cool.
That'll take us to Forgast, still on fire, who is going to roll another save. The fire still burns on him, and you see him taking further and further damage, and he becomes very frantic and enraged and looks towards Jules and runs over to Jules and is going to try and bite Jules with his fangs. And does a 23 hit you?
Yes.
I have to ask. You never know. And he deals 12 damage as he climbs up behind your shoulder as you're turning away and bites and rips into your shoulder and tears outwards, dealing 12 damage.
Yeah.
You still up?
Yep.
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh man, I thought I was
Nice.
like, I just killed Jules. Jules, you kind of stumble as the blood runs down your chest. There's fire all around you from this Drake. And that'll take us to Jules. Or, no, sorry. That'll take us to Waltz. Waltz, roll me your death save and text it to me.
Okie dokie.
So secretive.
All right. I have Walt's death save. That'll take us to Jules. Jules, there's a flaming Drake behind you. Blood is running down your chest. Waltz is down. You're hoping Dax is tending to him, but you're face to face with this fearsome Drake. You see flesh just melting off of his body, scales disappearing, almost starting to see a skeleton at times. What do you do?
I'm going to run a little bit of ways away, but turn around and cast sleep.
All right. Do it. So I just roll a
all right,
save,
he's
right?
got to make a will save, but he will not.
All right.
Right?
And your DC is 18, right?
Yep.
So Jules, you jog away from this flaming Drake as its flesh is dripping off. You stumble, get to your feet, turn around, blood dripping down you. You turn around almost yelling back at this Drake and pull out your ocarina after an exhale and play a calming tune with shaky breath as he trudges towards you,
Yeah.
opens his mouth. You see the breath weapon charging, and then he falls limp in front of you and slides through the dirt up to your feet, smoldering as the fire overtakes his body and engulfs him entirely. Digsby's crew has defeated Forgast.
He's dead?
Got him.
Woo! Is
We
he
did the dang
actually?
thing?
He's dead because then he would fail his save for the persistent damage, which would have killed him.
Good job, Digsby's crew.
Oh.
Heck yeah.
-1.
So Dax, you're
Dang.
running, you slide up to Waltz.
Dax frantically running through the cavern, kicking rocks and random trinkets out of the way. Will slide up to Waltz. Waltz, buddy, I got you. And then I'll do a battle medicine check, I guess. I will attempt to administer that.
All right, roll it.
That is a 19.
That is a success. Roll hit points.
That is 8 hit points.
Nice.
Waltz, you shoot upright, gasping for air. You see Dax knelt beside you, looking at you, probably with a somewhat stressed out looking smile. Over his shoulder, you see Jules standing before a smoldering Forgast, letting out a deep exhale, sigh of relief.
Walt, stay with me, buddy. Stay with me.
Oh, I think I'm good, Dax.
Oh, thank God.
So we did it, huh? Is that it? He's dead?
Oh, so you're back with us. Yes, it appears we finally defeated the damn thing. I'll step behind Dax, put my hand on his shoulder. I must say, Walt, I don't think we would have stood a chance if it weren't for your selfless act.
What happened?
Oh, last thing I remember is we were pushing the boulders out, and I go to cut the rope to ride Smith, and Geldir pushed me in, and
What?
I guess you saw the rest. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that rat.
Yeah. No, I not very happy about it, but I get it. He's got to look out for himself, and he's got someone else that's dependent on him, and I'm sure he's doing what he has to for his family.
How can you be so calm about this, Jules? Right? Like,
yes.
I don't.
Why? How can you defend him?
Oh, listen,
Tried to kill
guys.
you.
Oh yeah, listen. Don't
Again.
get me wrong. I'm not happy about it either. I definitely probably should have died.
Well, I'm just glad
Yeah,
you're still
no.
here.
Yeah, no, I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think Geldir would probably be coming around us because, last I saw him, he obviously pushed me in. Unless he doesn't think that I'm alive anymore and he doesn't think that you guys know that he pushed me in. So maybe we do run into him, but in the case we do, I don't think we should trust him anymore.
He better pray to whatever god he believes in that he doesn't run into us again.
And with that, we're going to cut to Ryu.
Ryu's turn. Hooray.
Ryu, you were loaded onto a ship and put in a jail in the lower decks. And after some time and waiting, the ship departed. And shortly after departed, you fall to a knee. You feel a similar sensation that occurred when you entered Pagos for the first time, when everyone told you you underwent a transformation of sorts. So from an outside perspective, one would see your hair transform back to white and your skin tone revert back to its olive brown state as you depart into the open sea.
I'll groan and wince as my voice changes once again, but I'm again unaware of what had just happened.
And you sit there against the wall for a time, pondering, wondering where this ship is going, wondering what's been happening to you, wondering if your friends are okay, or whatever Ryu would refer to them as. And after some time at sea, perhaps an hour at most, you hear the familiar sound of drake wings flapping in the distance, and then you hear the thunderous sounds of feet landing heavily on the deck of the ship that rocks the boat back and forth. You hear the scuffle of guards moving about atop of the ship, and then all motion stops, and then you hear one pair of feet walking atop the deck. They're very heavy feet walking slowly above you. You hear another pair of feet join them, and then you hear feet coming down the stairs into your cell, and you hear the voice of Bolgru. "He's right here, sir." And you hear, and Bolgru's feet step forward. "Oh, you look like an Aerokai again. Imagine that." And from the corner of the room you hear,
"And where is his sword?"
Bolgru pauses for a moment. There wasn't a sword. We never got a sword." And you hear, and then you hear the sounds of branches extending and snapping and piercing through Bolgru's back. And the sound of flesh ripping and tearing open and a limp body hitting the ground before you. And then heavy footsteps walk towards you. You can feel the frightening, powerful, potent presence of Sindor's aura that you sensed when he appeared before you as a construct, though increasingly, devastatingly more powerful. You've never sensed anything like this in person, beyond perhaps the ley line itself. And as he stands before you, he says,
"Tell me everything."
and that
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
session.
Holy cannoli.
Was
Fuck,
not
what
expecting
was.
that.
Wow, woo. But hey, you know what? You guys need to shut your mouths. Shut up. Because we'll talk about that in the downtime, which is for patrons, where we react to the most recent episode. And there's a lot to digest in this one. But yeah, hey, so thank you, listener, for joining us for this episode. We appreciate it so much. We just love all the support we get. Thank you. If you haven't already, we'd really appreciate it if you leave us a good rating, review on your podcast distributor, YouTube, wherever you're listening. It really helps us out and encourages us to keep going, helps algorithms, helps other people find the show. So yeah, we'd really appreciate that. And yeah, we thank you for joining us. And I'd like to thank Joel, who does all of our editing for vocals, which is a very time-consuming process. We are far from perfect. We're constantly looking up rules, doing retakes and whatnot, asking for clarification, sifting through my notes, and Joel cleans all that up and makes it sound like we're just absolute professionals. So thank you, Joel. And I'd like to thank Taryn, who does all of our effects editing. So he's going to put in all that like body splitting open sounds when Sindor kills good old Bolgru, and all the Drake roars and all the craziness that happened in that epic fight. So thank you, Taryn. That is also a very tedious job. He's got to pour through like millions of sound effects and find the perfect one. So thank you, Taryn. And I'd like to thank Ryan, who does all of our original music, all of that like crazy epic stuff you've been hearing. That is just Ryan going hard, and he is just sending our episodes into the next level. Like I listen to them in all stages as every piece gets added, and like listening to them without music and then with music is just insane. Like really sets the tone, makes the episode. And I just love all the passion and creativity behind it, because we're not just like dropping in basic generic songs that are license free or whatever. We're like making original music, and that's all thanks to Ryan. So thank you, Ryan, for doing all that. And I would like to thank Adam, who does all of our original artwork. So all of the character portraits and logos and just all of our branding, that's all Adam. All of our merchandise, which I'm not sure if will be up at the time of this episode, probably. That's like all Adam designing that. And then our session sketches. So if you're a patron, you can vote on each episode. You can have him recreate a moment from that episode in a sketch, and he just turns that out. They look amazing. Some of these are like 8-panel comics and just completely mind-blowing. So thank you so much for doing that, Adam, and bringing our story to life. And yeah, thank you again, listener, for joining us. And we will see you next time, mortals.
I was half expecting it to land on Jules.
Nah,
But Forgast had to use an action to do that.
That's the
Probably a
flavor
reaction.
description, my man.
God.
I could have said Dax just throws it way too short and looks like a. I was trying to make it sound cooler. Dax is like, oh.
Do the other one. Dax just looks like an
Yeah, do it, Dax.
Dax, you can do it. All right.